Good day everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Lee Johnson, and if you do like my content, please like, subscribe and hit the notification bell, and you can comment and share and help the algorithm bring more people to me. That would be fantastic, thank you. You can also support the channel by hitting the join button and signing up for one of the memberships, or if any particular video really helps you, you can give me a super thanks. All right, meditation is one of those cornerstone things in magic. A lot of people who are starting out and beginning magic hear this and think, oh no, I've got to sit patiently and quietly and still for periods of time, and I've got lots of things to do. We get lots of sighs when this topic comes up, but it really is one of those cornerstone things, meditation and breath work. And in order to really benefit from this practice, it's usually a good idea to learn how to do it properly. And, we say learn how to breathe. We know how to breathe. We do it all the time, but we don't really breathe properly. So that's one thing. And we know how to sit, but we don't really know how to sit properly, especially when it comes to meditation. If you don't sit properly, your back's going to start aching, your muscles are going to get tired, and it's not going to help with your practice. So today I just want to have a look at actual posture, actually how to actually sit for meditation. This will also help with people who are going to be joining my meditation classes and the meditation group. If you hit the join button and go into the memberships, you'll find that there is a tier, a membership there for the meditation classes, which are weekly. They're an hour long, and they're specific teaching classes. So we will learn, I'll teach, I will instruct, guide, and you can ask questions. This will be a face-to-face video type of classroom. And we will also go through guided meditations and specific meditations in order to help you practice and enhance your actual meditation practice. Then the monthly free meditation group is half an hour long once a month. And it really is get onto the video, into the video chat room and sit and meditate. There's no talking, there's no teaching, there's no socializing. It is sit, meditate for 20 to 30 minutes and finish, and that's it, ended. This really helps people who are finding it difficult to actually stick to a proper practice. It's like my friend Kai says, accountability buddies, which is brilliant way to put it. We kind of help each other or encourage each other to actually have a practice and actually get down and do it instead of making excuses and procrastinating, which is one of my biggest problems. All right, so this was a very long intro today. We are going to have a change of scenery. I'm going to go to my space where I practice and show you actual proper posture. Mostly this is going to be zazen posture. So if you are interested in Buddhism, specifically Zen Buddhism, this would be of particular interest to you. But it's a great way to actually sit for your meditation, especially when it needs to be for a long period of time. All right, let's get into that. Okay, welcome to the meditation space. Alright, so what I just wanted to show everybody today is the basic idea of how to sit in meditation. And I'm mostly doing this because I have started up my meditation classes, and I'm also going to be doing a free meditation group once a month. So that group itself is going to be half an hour long, and it really is just everybody comes in to the group, sits and meditates. There's no discussions or anything. So this I need to show people just so that they know how to sit when they actually get into meditation. And it may seem like an obvious thing, but isn't always. So there are a few things I just wanted to show you. This is mostly posture used in zazen. Alright, so if you were to sit flat on the floor, now if you have a hard surface like mine, tiles or wood or something like that, then you might want to sit on something that gives you a bit more cushion. So a yoga mat is pretty good, or if you don't have that, just use a towel. I usually use my yoga mat, but I'll show you this today. So using a towel. So if you were to sit just on the floor, what you usually find is that your back bends forward because you are trying to, if you were to straighten up your back, you'd start falling backwards. Now, this is the reason why people sit in lotus pose or modified Burmese pose or something like that, because then your knees can actually get lower than your bum. And that's what you actually need, because you need to raise your buttocks up, bring your knees down and sit in, so that you're actually creating a triangle. So you have your knees, and then you have your center point, where your buttocks are going to be, or your dantian and your navel. So you actually create this triangle. But at the moment, as you can see, the triangle is inverted, which means it's not a proper sitting position. So what you first want to do is raise your backside. So what you can do, you can take a quite a thick cushion, and not something that's soft, because then you're just going to push it down to the ground. You can take yoga blocks. Take 2 yoga blocks, it's usually easier. So all you do is put the yoga blocks down and sit on that. Okay, so that raises your bum a little bit. Then you're not leaning forward. Okay, now I'm still sitting in a normal pose, normal cross-legged pose. If you have difficulty with your hip joints, you are not going to want to actually push your knees down, because what's going to happen is, as you start rotating your hip joint and trying to force it down, that part rotates, this part doesn't rotate, your knee doesn't rotate. All your knee does is go up and down like that. Okay, it's not even like your wrist that can go round, it just goes up and down. So what happens when you try and push your knee down, then your knee tries, because your hip isn't actually rotating properly, because it's not loose enough, then your knee tries to rotate. That means you start tearing tendons and things in your knees. So don't try and force that. If you are used to yoga, if you are used to actually sitting in a pose, which is a double lotus or a half lotus, a full lotus or a half lotus or something like that, that's fine. Go ahead and do that. But you'll notice, I can get my left knee down. I cannot get my right knee down. If I do, I end up falling over. This hip will not rotate the same as this hip. So if you are in the same situation, your hips are not loose enough, don't try and force your knees down. Okay? You can sit like this. Your back's going to be up straight, it's going to be fine. But you're going to find that because you haven't got that proper triangle that I was speaking about, where you have your 2 knees and your dantian, then your back's going to start getting a bit tired. Your muscles are going to start aching, and you're going to find it difficult to sit for long periods of time. Okay, now with meditation, you do want to sit for long periods of time. Some meditation you can do 5 or 10 minutes. But as you build up, you're going to want to sit for maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, even longer. Okay, so you do need to find a position that you can sit for long periods of time. Now, this is not going to be healthy for you. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to change your position, experiment with different positions. If you are able to buy a meditation stool. Now I've got one, I made this. Okay, this is just a simple meditation stool. All right. Some of them come, this used to actually be, the legs were on the outsides and it had hinges, so it went flat. Unfortunately, when I made it the first time, I didn't really think of the hinges actually bending from movement and weight and things like that. So the hinges bent. So what I did, I took that all to pieces and I recreated it with the foot or the leg in the middle. And just as a practical, and actually works, well, I wouldn't say better, but works just as well. You can buy these online, similar things where you have either the legs, two legs on the outsides, some have hinges that fold in, so the whole thing goes flat so you can store it better, move it around. Or you can buy one with just a single leg, which goes in the middle between your feet. All right. If you are handy with woodwork, there are actually some pretty good instructions online if you're looking for it, but basically it's about 140, 150 millimeters wide. Just make it long enough so it just comes out just to the sides of your butt. The foot here, the leg, you can see it's at an angle. If I remember correctly, that was 5 degrees. Alright, because you want it to, when it's a down flat, you want it to go forward a bit. And I'll tell you why just now. Alright, so I'm going to use this. If you can't get one of these or you can't make one of these, you can still do this absolutely fine. What you want to do then is get a chair or a stool. It should be one where when you're sitting on the edge, your thighs are actually parallel to the ground. And then all you do is you sit on the edge of the chair. Don't sit back right into the back, because you know we're used to kind of sitting in armchairs and couches and going all the way to the back, and then our backs bent in a concave position. If this was the front, concave position. All right, so your back's bent like that. But we've got the support on the back from the armchair or the couch, so we don't tire or muscles get sore or anything like that. But when you are sitting in meditation where you don't have that back support, you're going to want your back to actually be properly upright. So sit on the edge of the chair and make sure your thighs are parallel to the ground and your feet are solidly on the ground. Don't cross your legs then. You'll just, your feet will be like that, okay? All right, let me show you my little device. Okay, so all you do is take it, as I said, that's going to lean forward, and then you just put it between your feet and you sit back. And this for me is the most comfortable position I can possibly get into for meditation. All right, so the reason why it goes forward and the reason why you want to get to the front of your chair, you don't want the back support of the couch if you're sitting on a chair. What you're going to do is you need your stomach to push out and your bum to push back. Okay, so you don't want to go concave like that, okay, because then your spine's actually doing that. Okay, so this is your bum. Your spine's pushing out at the back and then it's coming up to your neck. What you want to do is the small of your back actually needs to be concave from the back position. So your spine, if this is your butt, this is your front, okay? This is your butt. So your spine's going to cave in and then it's going to come out again and then back up to your neck. All right, so it's going to create a bit of a curve. Now, that's accomplished by, as I said, pushing your belly out, your dantian. Your dantian is your point just below your belly button. So if you were to close your eyes, take your hands and then just put them on your belly naturally. Just find out where it feels good. Okay, you'll find that it's just below your belly button. All right, so that's going to be your dantian. You want to push that forward, you want to push your bum back, you want to move your hips back. And then what's going to happen is your small of your back's going to curve inwards. Okay. then you're in a good position. Okay, so if you were to draw a line from your perineum straight up the middle of your body, it's going to go through your heart, and then it's going to come out up into your eye, out your crown, okay, out the top of your head. Right, so that's going to be a straight line. Your spine is still curved. You cannot get your spine straight. That's not going to work. I mean, then you're going to start trying to push your stomach back in to try and get this small of your back straight. Then, you know, this is straight up here. It's not going to work. This is going to cause strain on your back. So, hips back, bum back, belly forward, your dandian forward, stick your belly out, big tummies out, and then you are in a good position. Okay, your head and your neck, what you want to do, you can just loosen it up to begin with. Just give it some circles if you need to. And then you don't want to lift your head up. You're going to close this space out up just below at the base of your spine. You're going to close that off. You want that to be open. So you're going to push your head forward, tuck your chin in just slightly, and it's almost like there's a thread at the top of on your crown at the top of your head, and it's kind of pulling your head up, pulling your whole body up. Okay, so there's thread pulling up into the heavens. So small, your back's curved, your belly's stuck out, your hips and your bum are pulled back, and your neck is, your chin's just tucked slightly in. Okay, so if you were to sit naturally, okay, naturally like this, you're not going to look up, you're just going to kind of tuck your chin in, and that opens up this space at the back of just below the skull. Then what you're going to want to do is drop your chest and your shoulders. Okay, so the easiest way to do this, if you are sitting in cross-legged position, the easiest way is to just put your hands, knuckles facing forward on your legs, and just breathe out. And okay, so if you're sitting like this, you can put them by your sides. You're going to find you might be tensed, so your shoulders are going to raise. So you're going to want to drop your chest and your shoulders. So it's just to breathe out and just let everything drop. Keep your stomach forward, your hips back, chin tucked in. So you're not looking up, you're not looking straight forward. Just slightly, very slightly down. Okay. Your hands, you can do whatever you want with them. For zazen, you usually do a posture like this, where this can relate to gender sometimes. Like in Qigong, if you do this position here, where you hold your hands over your dandian, there is some old teachings where if you are masculine, the right hand goes over the left. If you're feminine, the left hand goes over the right. But you can gender bend. There's no reason why you cannot. So do what feels comfortable for you. Just, as I said, easiest things to do, hold your hands over here and then just let your hands naturally fall down over here and see what happens. Okay. So when you're doing the same thing, when you're doing this position, so if you take this position here, and then all you do is just bring your palms upward instead of facing inward. Same position. Depends where you want to put them, how you feel most comfortable, all right? And you just put your hands like that. Then you can just hold your thumbs parallel to the palms. You can touch the tips, or you can hold one of the thumbs in the palm. Okay, and then you just bring it down. Just naturally bring your chest and your shoulders down. Just bring it down to your lap, and that's it. You can put your hands on your legs. I sometimes like to do a mudra, so you can sit in mudra like that, or you can just put them like that with your thumb and index finger touching. Have a look at mudras. There's different reasons why you do mudras. There's different mudras you can do. You know, it's just hand positions. Each fingertip relates to a particular aspect. So find out which one actually you prefer. There's all different complicated hand positions you can do, right? But as I said, just the easiest, if you're doing zazen, that's all it is this. Okay, and that's it. So what you're going to find is this, as I said, is very comfortable for me. And because I'm using the meditation stool, I'm not putting strain on my knees or my thighs or my ankles. Okay, I am lifted enough and it is very, very, very comfortable. And so you're going to sit if you're sitting like this or you're sitting in full lotus. Half lotus is not really a recommended position. The reason being is that you have one foot on a thigh and the other one is not. If full lotus, both feet are on the thighs, are resting on the thighs. In half lotus, only one is. And what happens is it kind of pulls you out of balance. So you overcompensate. So you kind of falling to one side, so you're overcompensating, which is screwing your spine this way. From a forward front position, your spine needs to be straight. Okay, don't tilt your head. Don't twist your spine. It needs to be straight. Okay. From a side perspective, what you're going to find is your spine is from your bum going to cave in or curve in towards your belly. Then towards the middle of the back it comes straight and starts curving forward again because you come into your neck. And then you don't want to close off this space at the base of your spine, at the base of your skull. You want that to be open. Okay. Interestingly enough, when you start relating things to different traditions, in traditional witchcraft, we find that ancestral work often speak about this point on the base of the skull. This is where the spirits come in order to communicate with us. So we actually do work in order to open this up. And in trance work, what you find is you want to sort of lift up it's kind of lengthening your spine, pulling your head up and moving forward so that this space becomes open. So this is a very important space right at the back here, right at the base of your skull, for a lot of different traditions. Alright, so that's it. Just make sure that you stay in this position and you'll find if your back is properly aligned, you've got your butt back and your stomach forward, your dantian forward, because, well, I mean, this is zazen, so it's mostly related to Zen Buddhism, and the focus is a lot on the dantian, so you do want to pull this forward, and there's a lot of, the breath work and stuff puts tension on the abdomen, on the dantian area itself, so you just want to pull that forward, but no matter what meditation you're doing that creates that curve in the small of your back, which makes it a lot easier on you to remain in a meditative position and not move, completely still for a long period of time. You might find sitting in a position like this, your ankles will get a bit sore. That gets better over time. When you finish, you're not going to feel it while you're in meditation, but when you finish and you try and stand up, your ankles might be a bit stiff. But that gets better over time. Your ankles become used to it, they loosen up and things like that. So, but make sure you're not too hard. You've got a cushion because your knees are going to take a bit of strain on a hard surface. Alright, and that's really it. So get into your meditative position and enjoy. And I'll see you next week. Have a good one.